Hello everyone and welcome back to the second part of our scatter plot tutorial using Plotly Express. In the first part, we covered the basic of creating scatter plots. We learned how to plot humidity versus temperature, how to customize marker using color, size and shape, then how to add trend lines, how to build bubble charts, how to use facet, and finally how to create over text to enhance our plots. That was a great introduction to working with the scatter plots. Now in this second part, we are continuing right where we left off using the same Jupyter notebook and same dataset. And this time we are focusing on the making our scatter plot even more dynamic and interactive. So we are going to cover two important things in this video: how to create an animated scatter plot to visualize how value change over time, and how to add drop down and filter so users can interactively explore different variables. So let's start creating animated scatter plot, temperature versus humidity over years. So now we are writing the code to create an animated scatter plot that shows how average humidity and temperature change over the year for different weather summaries. First, we are making sure the formatted date column is a date time format. And then we are extracting the year from that column. So this year's column will help us animate the chart frame by frame. Next, we are grouping the data by year and summary to calculate the average humidity, temperature, and wind speed for each combination. So this gives us a clean, clearly snapshot we can use in the animation. So here we are creating an animated scatter plot using the bx.scatter function. We are using x as a humidity. Y as a temperature C. Size to represent wind speed. Color to show different weather summaries. Animation underscore frame equals to year to animated one frame per year. Then range x, range underscore x, and range underscore y to keep the axis limits consistent across frame. Then we are updating the layout to set axis title and showing the figure. Now let's run this code. And here you can see animated scatter plot coming to life. As the year changes, you will see the dots moving to reflect how temperature, humidity, and wind speed vary over time. So it's a beautiful and engaging way to tell a data story. Now we are moving on the second part of this video, adding drop down, so we can let the user choose which variable to view. So here we are putting the plotly graph underscore objects module and defining a list of the three metrics we want to toggle between. So we are also setting one of them temperature as the default. Now I am looking through each variable listed in our matrix array, temperature, humidity, and wind speed for each one. I am adding separate trace to the chart using go.scatter function. And the x-axis for all traces is the formatted date, which represent the timeline, and the y-axis changes depending on which variable I'm plotting. As I add each trace, I'm also controlling its visibility using the visible parameter. I'm setting it to true only for the initial metric, which is the temperature C, and I am setting it to false for other two. So this way, when the chart first plots, only the temperature data is shown, and the rest is hidden until the user select a different option from the drop down. So this approach allows all the data to be preloaded, which makes switching between variables super smooth and fast without the need to render the chart from scratch. Now I am writing the code to create a list of buttons that will be displayed in a drop-down menu above our scatter plot. Each button represents one of the three variables: temperature, humidity, or wind speed. When a user clicks on one of these buttons, the chart updates automatically to display only the data for that selected matrix. Behind the screen, each button uses the method equals to update, which tells Plotly to change the visibility of the traces based on the user's choice. So what I am doing here, I am using list comprehension to loop through the metric list and create one button for each variable. And for each button, the label sets the name shown in the drop down. And the org specify what happens when the button is clicked. It takes the selected metric visible, hides the other, update the chart's title, and to match the selected variable, and also update the y-axis label to reflect that metric. So this gives user smooth interactive experience without needing to reload or redraw the entire figure. Now I am using the update layout function to add the drop down menu which is created into the layout of our scatter plot. Inside this function, I am passing in a list of setting under the update menu key. This tells Plotly we want place a drop down menu above the plot. I am positioning it a bit higher, it up higher using x equals to 0.1 and y equals 1.15. so it doesn't overlap with the main title. In addition to placing the menu, I'm also setting the initial chart title using title equals to F in double quotation in curly bracket initial underscore metric and over time, which means the default title will show temperature C over time since that our initial metric. Then I am setting the axis level. The x-axis is set to date and the y-axis to our default metric temperature C. Once all the layout settings are in one place, I am calling fig underscore dropdown dot show function to render the chart. So this gives us an interactive scatter plot where user can click the drop down and immediately switch between viewing temperature, humidity, or a wind speed over time, all in a smooth and user-friendly way. You can see scatter plot with a drop-down menu at the top. By default, the chart is displaying the temperature value plotted over time. Now, if I click on the drop-down and select humidity, the chart smoothly updates to show humidity reading on the same timeline. If I switch to wind speed, I instantly get wind speed data displayed instead. So this interactive allows anyone using the chart to explore different aspects of the dataset on their own without cluttering the view with all three variables at once. So it makes data exploration more focused, clean and engaging. So that's it. So in this part of the scatter plot series, we have created an animated scatter plot to show how temperature and humidity change over year. And we have built an interactive scatter plot where users can switch between different variables using a drop-down menu. So this kind of visualization are especially useful in dashboards, reports, or a presentation where interaction adds real value. I hope this tutorial will help you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment below. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.